the News Channel 5 network. This is SportsLine.
Hey there, SportsLine on your television. Steve Layman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Tuesday night on News Channel 5. Plus, big night to talk about the Nashville Sounds. We have a couple guests from the Sounds here. We'll get to them in just a moment. But first, a couple news and notes items from today. The SEC baseball tournament down in Hoover. First pitch bright and early this morning at 9:30 a.m. A single elimination game between Vanderbilt and Tennessee. The 10th-ranked Commodores surviving 3-2 in that one against the Vols. Really kind of a crazy finish to the game as Tennessee got the leadoff runner aboard in the 9th inning, advanced him to third base, and the next batter chops one right to the third baseman, Xavier Turner, who was able to glove it, tag him out at the bag. Then the next batter came up, and Carson Fulmer, the Vanderbilt pitcher, was able to pick off the runner at first and struck out the next guy to end the game. It was an unconventional save for Carson Fulmer, but he got it done. So Vanderbilt advances into the double elimination portion of the completely confusing SEC tournament bracket. They will face LSU now tomorrow morning at 9:30. Tennessee, on the other hand, it's going to be a long wait until Monday in the NCAA selection show because the Vols are right there on the NCAA tournament bubble. If you look going into the week, some people had them as the last team in, some people had them as the first team out. So loss in game one in Hoover certainly will not help Tennessee's chances there, but they will wait and see as we get set for next Monday. Also today, the Titans agreeing to terms with 2 more draft picks, signing 5th round pick and former Kentucky linebacker Avery Williamson to a multi-year contract, and also the 6th round pick, quarterback Zach Mettenberger out of LSU, to a 4-year deal. So that leaves the Titans with just 2 of their 6 draft picks unsigned at this point, just a couple weeks here after the draft. Those 2 guys, of course, top pick Taylor Lewan, the 11th overall pick in the draft, and then Bishop Sankey, the running back out of Washington that they got in the 2nd round. So the Titans getting some work done there. They have just meetings this week over at St. Thomas Sports Park, then off for Memorial Day weekend, and then the real work begins on field next week. The start of OTAs on Tuesday. They will have 10 of those sessions, and then back in the middle of June for their 3-day mandatory minicamp. So a busy time for Kent Wisenhunt and his crew over at St. Thomas Sports Park. But again tonight we are going to talk Nashville Sounds baseball. An exciting season. They are off to a good start, and we are joined here tonight in studio by manager Rick Sweet and also Hunter Morse, fine first baseman for the Sounds. Guys, thanks for coming in on what's already been a busy day for you.
It's been a good start though. We had beautiful weather. We had I think 7,500 kids at the ballpark, and they had a great time. We got them all out healthy, and it's a good way to finish the day right now.
A great crowd at the ballpark today. Unfortunately, Hunter, you guys fall 4-1 to Omaha. Describe what happened in the game today.
They had a couple of key timely hits that we weren't able to counter. We were able to get guys on base, couldn't quite push them across, and Carlos Peguero hit a big home run that kind of broke it open in the 6th or 7th, whatever it was, and couldn't turn it around from there, unfortunately.
So far this season, it seems like you guys have been the team that has been able to get the timely hits more often than not. Today's game snapped a 3-game losing streak. What's kind of been the key to you guys getting going this season?
I think it all starts with our pitching. Our pitching has really gone out, done a great job of setting the tone, for the whole 9 innings. The offense, our job is to go out and score as early as possible, to gain momentum. In a 144-game season, there's a lot of ups and downs, there's a lot of swings, and all those happen within a course of that 9-inning ball game. Not just over it all adds up over the course of the season, but timely hitting early is a big thing. So the earlier we can get on the board, the better shot our pitchers have.
Rick, you talked about today, you guys had a massive crowd out there, over 7,500 at Greer Stadium. You had a lot of kids in the ballpark. Probably the last time this year with school winding up. What are those days like? Because you have a couple of them early on. They're loud and they're fun.
Well, we actually have 6 here at home that we play, and we've had 4 more on the road, so we've had a total of 10. I think the biggest thing for us is getting up that early in the morning. The game starts at 11 o'clock. Obviously, the kids are in school. We played a night game the night before, so we probably didn't get home till maybe 11, 12 o'clock, get to bed at 2 in the morning. You got to get up, get back to the ballpark early, and get your body going again. And that's the biggest problem we run into, is making sure we have these guys loose and ready to play so we don't get pulled muscles, something like that. But the nice part about it is you get off early. You can go out and have a nice dinner somewhere, which we don't get to do very often. And it's different. It definitely it challenges your body clock to get going.
I know we just talked about the SEC baseball tournament, Vanderbilt, Tennessee playing at 9:30. You've been down there in Hoover, so 11's not too bad, is it?
No, it is a different animal, though. I mean, you're talking about a season where you play 144 games in 152 days or something something crazy. Leading up to the SEC tournament, we were there my junior year in 2010. Opened up first game of the tournament, 9:30 in the morning. We were the 2 seed playing the, I want to say 7 seed Alabama. So it's Alabama Auburn opening up the SEC tournament. That you can get up for at 9:30 in the morning. But that's certainly the earliest I've played baseball in a long time. But hopefully I don't have to see being between the lines at 9:30 anytime
we don't do
soon.
that anymore.
Yeah, I don't see any 9:30 games on the Sound schedule this year, fortunately. But what is it like when you get out there on a day like today, you get between the lines, it's a beautiful day outside, and you have that type of a crowd for a day baseball game as a player?
It makes a lot of difference. You're in the clubhouse at 8:30 in the morning trying to get yourself going. It's just not happening. You go to the cage, you try to get loose, you stretch, and until you step on that field and the first pitch is thrown, it's a lot of high-pitched screaming, from a lot of young kids, but it's screaming nonetheless, and it's a lot of fun, and to see the kids out there, enjoying themselves as much as they do, it is a lot easier to get up for once the game starts.
Manager talked about the chance to have a night and maybe get a nice dinner or whatever, but baseball players are such creatures of habit. Do you like the switch up and to have a game like today? Now you go back for a doubleheader tomorrow night? Or would you rather just play them all at 7:05?
11's a little early for me. I've got a 3-year-old, and he doesn't adjust schedules quite as easily as I would like to be able to. It is nice to have some afternoons, especially going into a doubleheader like tomorrow. I mean, it's as much recovery time as you could possibly ask for before you go and play 2 games back to back. So a day like today, great to have it. Over the course of the season, they really only do it when the kids are in school. So we got a long summer ahead of us and not having to adjust as much.
Rick, the advantage of baseball too always is if you lose a game like you did today, that you get to come right back the next day and do it again.
Yeah, and that's what separates baseball from the other sports. We play every day. We have 1 day off a month. We play every day. That includes travel. That's where you run in. That's why teams struggle so much on the road. We'll play a night game here. Say you get back to your apartment at 1 o'clock. We got to be at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning to catch a flight. I'm sure there's a connection somewhere. You get to the ballpark, or you get to the city you're going to, and check into the hotel, grab a quick bite to eat, go to the ballpark, play another game. So if you don't sleep on the plane, you're not getting any sleep that night. And then you play 4 games, you turn around, do it again, play another team 4 games, then you get to come home. Coming home, 8 days is what we usually have at home, but it's every night. That's the biggest problem. That's the adjustment from college baseball to here, is the mental toughness you have to play every day.
not a lot of direct flights from Nashville to Reno or Round Rock. Is that the toughest part of minor league baseball, the travel?
Yeah, but without a doubt, the travel's the toughest part. These guys can play every day. That's not the problem. The problem's the travel. Of course, the PCL is the toughest by far of all the leagues I've managed in the International League. It's much easier there. In fact, we only have 1 or 2 flights. We bus almost everywhere. They have sleeper buses, and we may bus 8 or 9 hours after a game, but that's a heck of a lot easier than sleeping 2 hours, getting up, going to the airport, going through customs. It's a real pain.
You managed in Louisville for quite some time, and Louisville and Nashville aren't that much difference in terms of where they are in the country, but Louisville's got a whole lot easier travel schedule being in the International League.
Without a doubt, the International League's much easier, and when you start going out and looking for 6-year free agents, which we do in baseball a lot, 6-year free agents, they'll look at the International League first because the travel's so much easier. Makes it easier to put up good numbers, and you don't get beat up so much.
Sure. As we mentioned, tomorrow night, back at it with a doubleheader starting at 6:05 in game number 1 against Omaha. We mentioned the pitching a little bit. We'll get more to that coming up in just a second, but who are your starters tomorrow night for Big
Fires will start game 1, and he's been one of the best in the league.
Yep.
And then we'll start Blazek game 2, which is our bullpen. That'll usually, when you have a doubleheader, they don't. In the big leagues, they bring in a pitcher. In the minor leagues, you do it with your bullpen. And our game 2 will be our bullpen, which for me is fine. Our pitching is one of the top in the league. So we've got some guys that throw the ball very well, and you win championships with pitching, and right now we're the top pitching team in the league and have one of the best records in the league.
Big reason why the Nashville Sounds are in first place. Manager Rick Sweet, first baseman Hunter Morris, our guest here tonight in the studio on SportsLine. Don't forget, doubleheader tomorrow night, 6:05, and then the homestand against Omaha wraps up on Thursday night with a single game at 7:05. Got to take our first break. Back with more SportsLine after this.